All right, hey, what's up, guys? Coach Mac, Play Fast Football. Today we're going to take a look at a Counter Rail RPO, which is basically Counter with a front side wheel concept to protect it. Make sure you check out some of our partners. Game Strat, it's a sideline replay system we use, highly reliable, highly affordable. Dome Hats, the Headwear company we use. You can completely customize your hat. You can build your own hat with their online hat builder. Every hat has a story. Make sure you use Dome to tell yours. Baker Sporting Goods company we use. They provide our uniforms, spirit packs, coaches gear. You can also make online fan stores for players, parents, teachers, where you can get everything for your school in one location. JustPlay is the playbook software that we use here. I think it's the best play drawing tool on the market. We use it for installs, game plans, presentations. They look professional, they look clean, so it's a great tool to use. DifferenceUSA, the ultimate striking machine. You get thousands of reps without needing a partner. You can put them in your weight room. You can put them out on the practice field. Elbows in, thumbs up, all the skills and techniques you use to become more proficient at striking in season, off season, so make sure you check them out. CoachTools, which is a player grading system that is now a software tool where you can make your own columns and create your own way of grading your players, all right, and now instead of handing them a piece of paper or something that's written or typed out in Excel or Word or something else, now you can give them a more professional grading tool that they can look at, so it makes it cleaner and eventually, once you get all your columns in, easier to use. All right, so we're looking at taking basically a two-back, this is GY counter I've got drawn up, right? So OF counter, however you guys want to look at it. All right, backside guard is a kick player, our tight end as the wrap player. All right, but what we're going to do on the front side is we're going to run the glance concept, okay, where if we get any type of zero looks pre-snap, we might be able to go ahead and peek at the glance. If not, the glance is going to take the corner out. And then we're going to run the other back on the front side wheel, which we think is going to occupy the force defender or the flat defender. So usually when we're carrying this, it's some type of one high beater or some type of team. If they're split field, we think we're going to get some type of, all right, sky or drop down or roll down safety. That's going to be the D-gap flat force player. So the greatest thing about it is it ties in. For me, the deal with RPOs is very simple. They tie in to your base run, so you're not teaching any different runs. So you're not carrying an RPO menu that has different runs with it. So they tie into your base run. So if you're a OF, all right, GY counter team, however you want to look at it, or if you're a counter team, it ties right in because it's the same blocking scheme, right? So if we saw an even front team that was a one high structure, all right, trying to present 8-man fronts, okay, obviously when we go from a tray Y offset or a slot set, however you want to look at it, whatever your terminology is, we've got a 3 over here that they've got to account for. All right, so even if they were a split field team, if they used a backside safety to account for 3, that would mean that the Will or the Mike or whoever's in the box probably has to account for the wheel, so we're still going to get the numbers where we like them. So we've got 6 on 6 in the box to block our counter play. All right, so we like our numbers in the box. To the backside, we'll always carry some type of access, whether it's a now screen, all right, a back out by 2 deal, quick game, passing routes, whatever it may be. We feel like we carry the access there, so if the box gives us a look that we don't like, or if we get pressure looks or anything that tells us that we may be getting pressure coming and the quarterback wants to get the ball out of his hands, he likes to look out there. Again, if you got 0 looks, all right, you could build in some deals on your access side that could beat 0 so that your quarterback knows that he can go and get the ball out of his hand to the 0 side. If you get the look you like with the box that you like, now you're going to take advantage by putting a lot of stress on a flat force player, right? So if they were a 8-man front team like this, all right, and they're probably going to try and get the ball sent to what they think is the free hitter. All right, so if we were running counter weak, they're probably going to try and spill, okay? Where you draw the 3 technique, all right, in this front, to me, all right, some teams are going to set them to the tailback for zone reasons. Some teams might set them to where the Y is for maybe some gap reasons or some other reasons that they want to set the front, or maybe they have rules to set it to a 3-man surface if they treat Y off as a 3-man surface, right? So where you get the 3 technique obviously affects the play a little bit, but it doesn't affect the 6 on 6 in the box, right? We'd obviously, if we could get it, run at the bubble, that would be awesome. If we can't, we're still going to run the play, right? Especially in a tempo world, if I want to run this type of play, I'm not checking it because the front is set a different way. They've got 6 in the box, I've got 6 blockers. Typical counter, all right, double the front side all the way to the backside backer, center blocks back. Backside guard that pulls is going to kick the 5 technique. Backside sniffer, Y, whatever that body is going to wrap for the play side inside backer. Now what the quarterback's going to do is the quarterback is going to shuffle and read the flat defender, read the player on the wheel. All right, if the wheel has leverage, all right, or the wheel is open as I start to shuffle out, all right, now I know I can set my feet and get ready to throw the wheel. We don't teach it as a downhill throw where we start to attack downhill and then throw the wheel. I think you can get to that eventually, but I think day one or early teaching, I think it needs to be a very simple shuffle read. Remember now, we're kicking a 5 technique, so we probably can't shuffle out too far with the quarterback, or we're going to either get outside the kick block or we're going to make it a little bit more difficult on our blockers. All right, if this gets spilled and then the Y's got to go around. All right, if they were a hard spill team, then we might be able to shuffle a little bit longer because we know that the counter is probably going to go outside the 5 technique anyways. But the simplest deal here is we need to check out that flat player. Is he carrying the wheel? If he's carrying the wheel, he can't be the D-gap force player. Right, so if they're a one-high team and the free safety's not really involved in the fit, if that player cannot play, all right, force and cannot be the extra player for them to send runs to, all right, and we can get the 6 in the box block, now we've got Q counter, okay? If they don't carry the wheel, all right, and this guy is reading inside and gets his eyes where he's looking at the counter play and maybe he doesn't see the wheel or he doesn't expand with the wheel or he doesn't carry the wheel, now we've got, all right, the ability to throw the wheel over the top. If he carries the wheel, we have the ability to run the ball by affecting one of their extra players, right? Affecting their force player, affecting their extra hitter, affecting their free hitter, right? Even if a team was going to play you in split field, if they were going to play you in split field, all right, you have a threat of 3 vertical. Unless they leave their inside backer, who has an inside gap to fit in a run game, on your 3 vertical, they're probably going to take the backside safety from over here somewhere, okay? So whoever this backside safety is on this side, all right, they're probably going to take him and put him in some type of position to poach number 3. Well, any team that does that and puts a safety in position to poach 3 usually gets stuck playing man-to-man on the backside, because if 3's vertical and the safety leans that way, they have to be able to handle 2 routes to the backside because they're technically losing the safety. All right, so if they did that, you would think that one of the inside backers would have to be the guy that carries the wheel. So now even when the tight end comes back, all right, you're going to look and say, well, coach, if the tight end comes back, then the weak safety can get down and be the extra fitter. Well, yes, he can, but who's going to carry the wheel? If the weak safety is reading off a 3 and he's not the wheel player, then somebody in the box has got to be the wheel player unless there's some type of peel pressure team or they take a defensive end and peel. All right, either way, we think we should still have numbers in the box. So to me, when you're facing a 6-man box, 8-man front, whether it's one high or split field, if their teams, we really love it versus teams that like to invert that safety down as a D-gap flat force player. All right, we know we can get him out with the wheel, and then we know we can attack him in the run game. One of the other ways I've seen it done, all right, and this is a neat little wrinkle also, is out of X over. All right, 2-back X over. So I've seen it done where it's, all right, X over to the front side. Still have the Y there. You still have the Q. You still have the tailback there. Okay. And now, again, for us, like the way we played defense this year, we were a tight front team. So if we have to treat, one of these guys is ineligible out there, but it's very difficult to determine if 2's going to be on or 3's going to be on, who the eligibles are. So you need to get 3 guys at least covered up. All right, so sometimes you might have some type of man check or some type of man-free deal because you've got to at least get 3 guys covered up because they can just throw bubbles out there. So if you went to your base, like for us, if we went to, our base deal is a stubby deal. All right, I call it mixed. Some people call it mini. All right, but if we went to that base deal there, what we would do to the backside is our number 1 rule is we're always going to try and play sky or cloud or some type of cover 2 to a nub. But now the problem is we're losing a guy over to the front side because they brought a receiver over, at least in the run game. Maybe we don't lose somebody in the passing game because one of those guys is ineligible. But for us, base rules, if you came out, and here's what you got to think of sometimes. If this formation is a wrinkle for you, all right, it's very hard for the defense to have answers to that formation. It's got to be a game plan deal. So for us, the backside of this would be very similar. We would see what we think is a nub, even though it might be somebody that's ineligible. So our guys would treat this as some type of cover 2 deal where the big key for us is this guy has got to be an extra hat in the run game. All right, so that guy has got to be an extra hat in the run game, but it's a corner. Okay, so one of the neat wrinkles that I saw was teams were coming back and running the play away from the X over, okay, so they were getting, all right, or we see a lot of solos when we play our tight stuff back there, all right, and now what you're going to get is you're going to get two pullers. You're going to get the wheel here, which means you think you can occupy that, all right, and now what you're going to get is you're going to get your two pullers, but they're probably going to end up both being wrappers, and if the two linebackers are free to run because of the tight front and all down blocks and you can't get a double team to them, now you've got the two backers blocked with two pullers, okay, and if the D-gap force player carries the wheel and you run Q counter, now you're going to make a corner, all right, fit in the run game and be that extra hat in the run game. So that corner is going to be a guy that we really can't account for if we go X over, okay? But again, what you're going to see sometimes is a lot of teams will lose a player on the backside, because they're worried about the front side, what their adjustment is. So a set like this is a neat wrinkle to me, something you don't see a bunch of. All right, kind of not so much a unique set, but a different set that defenses have to prepare for. You still have, depending on who your eligibles are, you still have the threat of getting the ball out here quickly. So maybe your access on this side is some type of back out or some type of stand up because you still can create numbers over there. Okay, so if they leave that corner, he's got to be the one that fits. Or if it was flipped, all right, some teams will flip it and say, all right, look, if this is the set, we'll leave the corner down here as a force player. We'll leave the safety up here as the robber extra hat player. And now we can get, now the corner hopefully gets eaten up by the wheel, and then the defense feels like they have a better player to fit with the right safety there. Okay, so that's one of the deals coming off of X over, because again, it's the same play. It's the tailback running the wheel, all right? It's OFGY counter. The only thing we've lost is the front side glance route, but we've gained a number on the other side with the X over, so if the defense doesn't adjust right, we might have numbers to the front side. Because you're still going to carry all your front side runs out of this set, all your gap schemes, your pin pulls. So if the defense is hammering you to that nub side and you can't get your RPOs or your runs to that nub side, you may still be able to attack the front side, right? So we're talking about one football play here in a short video, so it's easy to say, well, this is how we would defend that play. You got to defend the whole scheme, the whole system, and if they carry, Power Read was one that got us this year out of this set, all right, Power Read to the front side. So if they carry all their gap runs, two-back runs to that X over side, then you still got to defend that as well. Another cool way to run it to get an extra blocker in there, maybe an extra puller, it all depends on how the defense would defend it, would be using some type of two-back set. All right, so you had some type of two-back set creating the same or very similar pictures. So let's just say, for argument's sake, if they are some type of four-down team, all right, and there's some type of quarters team, so they're going to play eight-man fronts, and they're going to play you in some type of quarters deal. All right, so the free safety will sit and play quarters off that. There's your corner there, and then there is your drop-down guy that you're going to read. You're still going to get the glance from here. Okay, you're still going to get your counter deal from here. Now what you can get in this system is an extra puller. So even if they try to get the free safety involved as a quarters fitter, you're going to get an extra pull. That's your wheel player, right? That other back is extra. Here's your access side. Whatever you want to do on your access side, if you get one-on-one or you get a loaded box, you can go access back to the single. Now there's your, all right, your OFGY counterplay, extra. You put another back in there so you can get an extra puller in. He could be through the hole. He could be around the outside to anything that scrapes and runs over the top. That's still your D-gap flat player. That's still your read. He's the flat player. He's the force player. He's the read. There's your wheel. Same mechanics. Shuffle out, read. All right, D-gap force player, and now you got the quarterback counter. So there's three little wrinkles to run the Q counter rail play. Very difficult to defend as a defensive person myself. We're always worried about weak side runs. We're always worried about D-gap support. We're always worried about who's supporting it, where we're sending it, how we're spilling it, how we're getting the ball to them. All right, so whether we're 3 high, 2 high, it doesn't really matter. We're always trying to figure out where we're going to get the extra hat, where we want to send the ball. Well, now we're going to try and affect the extra hat, which is what you're trying to do in RPOs. Instead of blocking guys, you're trying to affect them with routes. Now you're affecting them with a potential shot. All right, you still throw the glance in there, maybe a zero look, maybe a pressure look where you can sneak the glance in. We're trying to get our tail on a safety or a matchup where if they carry the wheel, we feel like we have extra numbers. Now we might even be able to get another number in there with the extra back, but they're probably going to get another helmet with the quarter safety. All right, so all the little chess pieces that you got to play when you're drawing schemes and defending schemes. So another great RPO. If you're an RPO team, it builds into your system already. Just got to work the mechanics of how you want to teach the quarterback, what the reads are, what his footwork is in the shuffle reads, and how you want to do it. I've seen people do it a bunch of different ways. The bottom line is it's your offense. You've got to teach it based on your kids. All right, so again, I appreciate everything you guys do for PlayFast. If you have not subscribed, press that subscribe button. If you are a subscriber, turn the notifications on so you know every time we do a video or every time we do jump on YouTube Live. Thumbs up, thumbs down if you like the content, or you don't like the content. Lets me know what we need to do or what we need to change. And then as always, leave a message. I got a couple messages last week on some of the videos I did, so I got some ideas for some videos on things that some of our subscribers, when the subscribers comment, it lets me know that they want to see certain videos or they have questions about certain things. So that interaction keeps things going, and basically it's why we do it. It's why I do it. I want to interact with other people. I learn as much as you do when I read the comments and you guys come back and say, hey, we did that and we did it this way. So it's not always me up here presenting to you. I learn just as much as you do also. So if you're still playing, good luck to you. You're probably either in the state championship game, maybe just won the state championship. If you're not playing, it's the off season. This is the best time of year for a football coach to develop, to grow, to study systems, study other systems. Figure out what you want to implement, figure out off of self-scout how you need to fix your stuff. So after the grind of football, obviously there's no games. I get it. That hurts a little bit. But the off-season grind is every bit as important and every bit as much fun if you like to tweak your schemes, look at other schemes, and grow and develop as a football coach. Look for the PlayFast clinic. It's going to be sometime in 2023. Still looking for the right venue and the right time to do it, but that'll be coming up. All right, remember, you won't play well until you play fast. Thanks for everything you guys do, and I'll see you next time.